back at B4U. Here with me, Salil. I don't see too many nails being bitten off there. It should be that case.
It's got a manicure.
Yeah, at least because we're on the day, when you sort of start to question, do I belong here? Will the audience start to love me or not? Because one day before a release, that's always the case. The new star kid, is he going to be able to live up to his billing? Lots of big names have got attached to him. Karan, thanks so much for joining me, buddy.
Thank you for having us.
Tomorrow it is. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Behzad, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
The man who discovered him. They've been working on it for many, many years. The film we'll talk about later. But let's talk about the pressures that you've had. So much you've figured out in the last month.
Yeah.
Okay, once the film was made, okay, leave that out. Then you started meeting the media.
Yeah.
Then certain questions started coming out.
Yeah.
Then you started getting a buzz of it. Then your friends will say yes or no. Now where are you at? So we're on the weekend of it happening.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually kind of surreal. There are so many feelings. It's like this combination of excitement and nausea, like all rolled into one. Like you said, we've worked on this for a long time, 3 years in the making almost. Behzad, Pranav, Tony sir, Vishal, all of us were there since the very beginning, since before we had a studio or anything like that on board. And when I signed it, Sunny sir wasn't a part of it. This song with Akshay sir that's happened was nowhere on the agenda. So now that things have sort of worked out and panned out the way that they have, and the feedback that we've gotten to whatever content that we've put out there, I think it's almost surreal, and it's sort of vindicated our decision to sort of stick by us, what one would consider an unconventional sort of topic, especially and I'm not the only first timer. Behzad's the first time director.
Yeah.
RD, who shot the film, is a first time DOP. So there are a lot of first timers. Everybody was hungry to prove a point. Everybody's been working towards it for a long time. So to just see it all come together, it's been surreal.
Suicidal is what I would think for a director. To want to... See, everyone wants a story to be told.
Right.
But it's not... Yes, you're a first-time director, but you've been with Akshay sir in experienced films.
Yeah.
You've been a very big AD as well.
Right.
When you're an AD at that point of time, I know a lot of my friends who are ADs. They've got these stories.
Right.
They're saying the only reason they're stopping is because the stars that they want to work in it haven't given them dates.
Correct.
Why didn't you do that?
So the thing is, if you keep waiting, there's a possibility that it might never happen. And plus, when Karan, me, Pranav, we were all ADs on Boss. And at that time, we became very tight as friends. So we decided that time, karenge to saath mein karenge. So that was our thing.
That was an emotional decision, or
It was an emotional decision.
Yeah.
It wasn't a practical decision at all.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea what he's capable of. He had no idea what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
And we both didn't have an idea what Pranav is capable of.
We still don't.
Yeah. But
was he very bossy when he was... he must have been your boss on Boss also.
No, not. So I was
Yes.
the set PA. He was my boss, but we were all answerable to the first AD. He was still a third AD at the time.
Correct.
And it's only after that.
But was he
became an
mean to you? Because the most frustrated are those ones that are on the neither here nor there.
Yeah, no, so
mean to him.
I was around, I don't know, 17, 18 at the time, and I was a very bad AD. But to be fair, he could have thrown me under the bus multiple times, especially when I used to go hide under the skimmers.
I'll tell you an incident. So this is peak setup, 5 cameras running. Akshay sir is on set, massive action sequence happening at that Godi area in Wadala. And people came to know Akshay Kumar is shooting.
Yeah.
There are at least 2,000 people waving. Pandemonium on set, crowd can't be controlled. And I'm just screaming out for whatever help I can get. I needed one area blocked off. I'm shouting, Karan, 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 kidhar hai? And there was little huts made. And there's a skimmer lying on it.
Yeah.
And from out of nowhere, there's a head that pops out. Sup, bro? I said, tu andar kar kya raha hai?
Sup, bro?
I said, what are you doing inside? Come. So I go inside. He's put one goonie bag, one for his head. There are 2-3 packets of Ruffles Lays. There's a Coke. And he said, Aja. I'm like, come out.
In my defense, I was really dehydrated that day.
You were dehydrated?
With food.
So I wasn't the best AD. So he could have thrown me under the bus a lot of times, but he actually sort of covered for me, helped
So
me
why
through
did
the
you
process.
suddenly say this bond is there forever? If he wasn't a great AD,
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably a decent friend.
Yeah.
But eventually it's professional, no?
True. But at some level, I felt that if this guy can pull such things, let's see what he can pull off in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And the first time we actually put him in front of camera, I pulled another stunt.
Yeah.
I got Dimple Auntie to come and sit at the monitor. Then he was scared to perform in office. It was just a basic mock shoot just to see the kind of film we are getting into.
Yeah.
And he came through.
And she's very, very straight up.
Brutally critical.
Yeah.
Brutally critical.
What did she say after she saw his basic first screen test?
I love him.
Yeah, she was very happy. She was very proud. Actually, that is, I think, the last thing she's seen in regards to the film. After that, I don't think she's seen any content whatsoever. I just want to show her the finished product, which will be like now.
You know, I was watching a video yesterday only. Raj Kapoor's 25th anniversary of RK Studios.
Yeah.
A very young dimple is coming in there, and it was
15 years old.
Yeah, man, it's so surreal. I love doing. Did you ever have that when you were young, like knowing who your family is?
No, because like if you're in the family, for you it's sort of normal in a way, but then obviously you realize that once you go out and you see the way people treat them, you know, and the love and respect that they get. And it used to actually happen Bombay mein, so I don't think it happens that much, but when you really travel to other cities and stuff like that, yeah, then you actually see the amount of people that they've actually reached out to through their work over the years, you know, even like randomly.
Like your surname is enough. See, first of all, there are not that many with a Kapadia surname.
Yeah.
So are they immediately able to make the connection?
No, so I don't know if I've told you this. There is another Karan Kapadia also.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Who's a director?
Who's a director. And earlier, because not many people knew me, we used to keep getting mistaken for one another. So I have been credited for a lot of work that he's done. So for the first...
On IMDb as we speak.
So for the first 1 or 2 years, I used to be like, no, it's not me. Now I was like, oh yeah, thanks. That's my work. So now I just take credit for it.
So he has directorial credits also.
Yeah.
wow.
He also actually it reached to such an extent. I hand on my heart. I went to this salon one day and there was a mix-up in our names, and he got my pedicure appointment as well. So he's really been a thorn in my backside.
Listen, you need to figure something out, yeah? Because now...
hopefully now this movie changes.
But you have to change something. So it happened in television. There were so many Karan Grovers. There were like 6, 7 of them, man.
Yeah.
So now they sort of change something. You will have to do something with that.
I'll figure something out. Maybe and the thing is, I can't just even call myself. Karan is such a common name.
Yeah.
And Kapadia, there are so many better known Kapadia.
And the thing is, I know that Karan Kapoor. He's Anu's family.
Oh, Anu, a mutual friend.
Yeah.
So does he feel bad?
He's Ranveer's best friend.
I have actually.
Does he feel bad that he's getting all the credit?
It mixes up both ways.
But technically he's worked more than I have, so it works more in my favor because I get credited for like a body of, like someone will say, you worked with Mani Ratnam? Yeah. 2 films.
As an
Rima Kakti, Zoya Akhtar, I worked with them all.
Listen, but now he's out in front of the camera. Do you feel you belong there? I mean, you know, see, also another thing is when you come from a very illustrious film family, there's this pressure of needing to belong. एक तो वो कर रहा है वो बात अलग है.
Right.
But you need to know yourself, do you belong there? Do you?
I think so. I mean, like I said, I've been wanting to do this ever since I was a little kid. So my entire life's work was sort of put in this direction to sort of be in this position one day, hopefully. So I think I belong. I mean, I think
Were
there's...
you were good as a kid?
No, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to do it is because I had these anxiety problems as a kid. So I always wanted to take part in plays and stuff, but I could never do it. Meanwhile, Alia, who was in my batch, was killing it. So there was always this regret that I couldn't go out there. So now I think every time I go on stage or I do a short film or anything, just performing in general, I get this sort of feeling of personal accomplishment. And I think that's the feeling I keep chasing. And probably the day I stop feeling it, I'll stop acting.
No, it's just started right now.
No, I'm saying if that...
हाँ कहाँ पहुँच गया?
I'm just saying.
He's already stopped acting. Pehli picture to kal release ho rahi hai.
Yeah, no.
But Behzad, what about you? Did you realize how much it would be to become the captain of the ship and not just vice captain?
Yeah, I did realize. Because as an associate director to Anthony D'Souza, as I've said, that it was very easy for me to tell Tony sir, not working. Sir, we'll change this. We can do that. But I never thought what is going on in his head because he knows that whatever ideas I'm throwing at him or anything is, he knows what the repercussions could be for another scene, for another day.
Yeah.
Now it's happening to me when we were shooting. I would have people say, not working, let's do this. Because our doors were always open to everybody who had suggestions.
Yeah.
So now that shift of that chair put me in a completely different position, and now I respect that man far more for what he has been through himself and now what I've gone through.
You know, so as a director, a lot of them keep pitching. Did you do a lot of pitching? Like to production houses and people and all those things?
No.
Or did you make the film and then decide to pitch?
No, actually, it didn't work out like that. We worked out with the idea of the script.
Yeah.
We put it together.
Yeah.
And the call went to Karan.
Yeah.
I said, Karan, I'm doing a film.
Yeah.
He says, bro, damn happy for you. I said, will you act in it? He says, really? I said, yeah. Kahan hai office, bhai? Aaja.
Yeah.
It was a 5-minute conversation. He says, yeah, done.
Yeah.
Of course, the script was a lot different at that time, and then it started changing with his inputs as well.
Yeah.
So we started changing it. Tony sir, Vishal came on board saying, fine, not the ideal thing for a boy to launch.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But you three are so sure of it, we'll back you. From there, with of course, their contacts, their known people, the Carnival came on board, Z came on board, everything worked out eventually.
Why would you say not the ideal? Even in this current world, I mean, by the trailer, the boy's got action sequences, he's showing that bit, he's got the, you know, the look of the mafia hitman, he's got the gun in there.
Now it's easy
Romance-
once it's done and people have seen it.
Romance
it
चार गाने.
works.
Romance चार गाने.
So then what's the problem? Would you, I mean, I don't think...
वो नहीं है.
No, but it's okay. But it's not like the Shah Rukh Khan Zamana still exists right now, you know.
True, very true.
The ideal of a Yashraj film doesn't work anymore. I don't think it does.
But this was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
We've landed up at a time where the
the shift is
entire
happening right now.
tectonic shift has
Luck
happened.
favors the brave.
Yeah. And with the way the world is right now.
You never know, man. We take a little break and come right back. And the beauty is they're coming off a very big action film also. It's called Avengers.
Yeah.
So that's the best part. You know, so
Little indie.
we'll get like the Avengers ka flow. Those who would have seen it. Yeah. It actually does happen.
Yeah.
We'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, you're back on The Blank. That's the name of the film. It's blank. It's not, you know, how should I say it? So, gunshot mein jo blank bullet hoti hai na, that's what it probably is. Behzad Kambata making his debut as a director. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm right about that. A blank, that's what you wanted, right?
There is a lot more to
There's
that
a lot
word.
more to that. And Karan Kapadia, of course, Kapadia Khandan se. So Dimple, Simple, Akshay sir, Twinkle, सब लोग हैं. Sunny sir भी अब आके इसमें पूरा जो नाम दे रहे हैं. I think that sort of raises the whole bar for him and for the film. You know, the darja is there. But he's got to perform. So how did he perform? Did he have days when he was okay and not great?
No, I'll tell you what. Contrary to what I felt, the man would be so calm, so composed. There are so many times when we were discussing a scene in his van, I would have to be doing that. Because that's his level when he speaks. He's so chilled out. And then he said, Chal, let's start. That's it. At that level. Once the camera comes on, it's a different beast.
Wow.
It's just like a switch over. And then there was nothing. No. I'm talking about Sunny sir, not you.
But was there a lot of, did you do a lot of workshops and those kind of things just before this film? I mean, because you mentioned earlier you were with the same class with Alia.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're saying workshops not specifically for this film?
No, specifically for this film. Did you plan something?
yeah, so we, like I said, I signed it in 2016, after which we did a couple of like 1 month workshops, but more than that, I think the 2 years that I had before we shot, you know, to just discuss the character with Behzad. And like he said, you know, the film was changing a lot in this duration as well. So the character was still the same, but the direction he heads in also obviously changes.
So how much did it actually change from the original?
So honestly, like that one-liner, suicide bomber loses his memory, chaos ensues, is still the only thing that's constant. But Pranav and Behzad took a whole year, changed it into something completely different, something that was much better than the original. So the character was also changing, so we couldn't do like consistent workshops. So it was just having constant conversations with Behzad as to, you know, how he saw the film playing out, how he saw the character playing out. We really got to construct it from scratch. And the fact that we had 2 years to sort of prep for it, that really helped as well.
You know, as actors, I know a lot of people like, you know, if they know they're going to do an action film, they like to watch a few action films also once in a while. You know, I see myself as this.
Yeah.
And plus, you've been closely involved with, like he said, you gave inputs as well. Were there certain kind of films that you were also starting to watch in 2 years?
I mean, I was watching, I always watch action films because I'm an action film fan, but not with the mindset that, you know, I'll incorporate something.
But every actor says, yeah, I like this guy. This guy's like...
Yeah, like, but the thing is, see, like, I can like Jason Statham, for example, but I should also be able to do what he can do.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to get inspired by these guys, but also know what your strengths and weaknesses are. And our action director, Vikram Bunty, he had an incredible vision, him and Behzad, as to how we wanted this action to be played out on screen. You know, we wanted it to look organic, real, really sort of, you know, raw. So you also have to play to that. It can't be too stylized also. So just working with him, helping, having these sort of, you know, 1 or 2 hour rehearsals every day, just trying to get into that sort of character. That's what I think helped me more than watching action films and stuff.
And
like
unfortunately for him, there was no reference point.
that. Yeah.
We could give him, okay, you can, for example, see Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
He's lost his memory and he can do action. Fine. But now I've strapped him with a bomb. So the dynamic of that completely changes. So he had no reference point, neither did we. So we said, let's concoct something fresh, something maybe how he'll behave.
But are you good? I know a lot of my friends who work on as ADs on film sets. They're great with action, not so great with the other bits. So they end up doing a lot of the action bits also. Were you as an AD? Were you also someone who knew action?
Yeah, I love doing action. So for me, when we started working with Bunty, Bunty is an extremely hyper human being. So if you see when we see the playback, he's doing the sound effects. Yeah, rapak, yeah, super, yeah. That's Bunty is doing that. So he's that hyper, and sometimes you would go mad with the action. Like Bunty, let's keep it
But
real.
it's infectious, it rubs off.
It's infectious. The whole unit used to get a kick when Bunty would come, and Bunty's young. He's damn dynamic. And the best part is he's worked with Sunny Sir also on a couple of films. So the way he managed to handle everything, Sunny Sir obviously being the original action hero of this industry, he had a lot of inputs. So together, I think what came out very real. No people flying, no cables. We didn't have budget for cables. That's a separate story.
Everyone did their own stunts, Sunny Sir included.
Sunny Sir did his own stunts.
Everyone.
And the best part was the sprint.
Oh man.
I told Karan when we were starting, Sunny Sir had to chase him.
Yeah.
I said, Karan, don't run full out. Just maintain a pace because eventually it's the camera that is going to have to capture you. First take, Karan runs at a good speed. Sunny Sir catches him.
So I had to do it.
Catches him. And he says, kya kar raha hai? Bhagna. Second take, Karan's running full out, Sunny Sir is running full out.
Wow.
And we just got it like
And
that.
that's the take that's in the trailer. So if you watch it closely, you can actually see my back go like that because he almost caught up.
Yeah.
With me. 62
Wow.
years old, man.
Yeah. No, but you would never make out that he's 62.
Oh, not at all.
Did you ever work out with him?
No, I didn't. I didn't train with him, unfortunately. I think now he's in this phase where he's not into the weightlifting and stuff. He's more into sports and stuff like that. So
But this is only the last 1.5 years or so. He had a back
1.5,
injury.
yeah.
After that, he's eased up on that. Because I remember talking to him about it. He said he missed the weights like mad.
Because he's had to take it easy, multiple injuries over the years and stuff. And back in the day, so they used to do stuff without safety and also the falls and all, they add up, the injuries over the years.
Actually, you've got two of the biggest action heroes of our country associated with this film.
And we made one dance.
No, but it works. As a director, now that you see everything is out there, I mean, what is the best response that you've received from your superiors, your friends, your peers?
From few people who've seen the film, as in at least from our marketing teams and stuff like that, and few outsiders, we've got a very good response. And from
Did they think it was, man, you've surprised us? One of those ones?
Surprise, more than surprise, it was actually that's a good film. Versus the absolute critics, for me, first is Anthony D'Souza, who turned around and told me, nobody will say it's bad. Nobody can say it's bad. That's what he said.
That's good.
So that was my cutoff. That's the lowest compliment we've received, which is a good compliment in this.
Well, that's a good start to have also, no?
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that you're covered from all angles and you move ahead. What about you and now the industry responses? What have they been like for you? And I mean, obviously, because now you'll have the special screening of yours, will have a lot of special people in there. Are you already getting responses like, I've got something in mind for you?
No, honestly, nothing like that. But whatever people have seen in terms of the trailer and everything, they have liked it. But obviously, I think when they meet you, nobody is really going to come and say, oh, you know what, I saw it, you were rubbish. So it's hard to gauge when you're so close to it. I think once the film is out and people see it, I think that is more of a real indicator as to whether people have actually taken to the film and we've actually done our job right, which I think we have. I think we're very proud of the film we've made. So
actually, you guys look a little relaxed.
Yeah,
I remember
proud of
meeting them when the promotional tour was starting. You looked a lot more hyper. I think nobody had seen the film till then.
No, people had seen the film, but I was hyper for different reasons.
Now
Which is ye khatam karna hai, wo khatam karna hai, wo chal raha tha. Now it's done. Pretty much. Not yet.
As a director, have you already started working on your next? Like a lot of people say, na?
His idea.
Yeah?
So we had an idea.
Brilliant idea.
And
But it's very expensive. So until this becomes a hit,
You better do well, bro.
Yeah, that's
we cannot afford to go
so
anywhere.
I need to be bankable before that. So nothing. We've been working and writing on writing something which is this sci-fi concept. And I know when you say sci-fi, people think like flying cars and aliens and stuff, but it's nothing like that. It's a very human story, and it's something that resonated with all of us. I think it's very applicable to our country and what's happening now. And yeah, I think if it's sort of given the chance, if we're given the chance to sort of execute it the way we want, I think it could be a real game changer in terms of, and we want to sort of right now, what we have in mind is for it to be on the digital platform, on the OTT platforms. So yeah, we're just hoping, we're still developing it. Obviously with Blank, we haven't had the time to
No, but it's amazing. I mean, I love the maturity that you have as a person. A lot of people would have different thoughts in their head. So you guys obviously are very good writers as well. Is it?
These guys are the writers.
We'll know on the third. If we are good writers or not. Till then we are
These guys are the writers. I don't fancy myself as one. This is just one idea that came to me.
He has good ideas.
Which I liked it. And then obviously you need people around you
And
who are
expensive
creatively inclined to sort of develop
Now,
them.
what if now, just before we leave, what if that idea is bought by somebody really big, and you don't get to star in it? Would you still be okay with it?
No. I want to be
honestly, I think he would be.
Yeah.
I mean, it actually...
He would come out as a showrunner.
The thing is, actually, jokes apart, we are really passionate about it. So if it ever comes to that point, it is something that I definitely want to be made.
Yeah.
So even if I don't get to be a part of it, I think it still deserves to be made.
Just before we go, your last word on Blank. Wait, are you happy with what you've done?
I'm happy with the film. As an actor, you can you always think you can do better. So I'm
No. Listen, like I made myself proud. That has to be the first thing.
I think so. I think I'm proud of not just myself, of everybody and their work involved. And you know, it's like 3 years of hard work that's culminated into this for everybody. So I'm super proud of the film, of everybody involved, and that's why we're a little relaxed because you know.
Tomorrow the newspapers are going to come out. All the critics will come out with whatever they had to write, and it might not just be Anthony D'Souza saying, "It's okay."
It's not.
Are you ready
it's
for
not
that?
Bad. We're ready.
Nobody can say it's bad.
Yeah. No, we're ready. Yeah. You never know. It's always
know.
50-50. So.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
buddy.
you so much. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, brother. Thank
A
you.
lot of people make films. I think what people don't understand is how much difficulty goes into releasing a film. Then how much difficulty goes into releasing a film with first timers. So I think you have to understand that. That's where the appreciation needs to come in. And then after that, don't judge the film. Just watch the film.
Just watch
I think we started judging too many things in our life, right?
True.
So just go watch the film. We'll see will Blank be a hit at the box office or not. That in 3 days' time we'll figure out. Take care and see you soon.